Get strong.
Hi guys, we're back talking more anime, talking more manga. This is the Amateur Otaku. We're here to talk about the state of Weekly Shonen Jump because things are weird. I think it's funny because in our group chat, Cliff was actually just asking this very question of like, what do we do now that all these big books are coming to a close, right? We have, on the anime side, Attack on Titan has finally concluded, after however many parts the final season was. We have My Hero Academia in its final stages, probably only going to get one more season. Demon Slayer is going to end its anime in a movie trilogy. The manga for that is already over. My Hero ends in like a week by the time you watch this, by the way. Crazy. One Piece is in its final stages, and Jujutsu Kaisen is set to end later this year. So we wanted to kind of come around and talk about what's next for this genre that we all love, because all these books are ending at the same time, except for One Piece. Like, it's in its final arc, but that's what, 4 years, Brandon, give or take.
5,
Another 5 years, easy.
Yeah,
hmm
and
For One Piece,
and
that's a
ending up in
month.
10.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like that's still very soon, all things considered. And Chainsaw Man might get another part, but if it doesn't, that's also in its final stages as well. I'm Mike. I assume you already know that because we're here all the time. Of course, is Isaac and Brandon. Did just joining us again. I'm gonna toss it to you, Brandon. It's been a while since we had you on here. How are you feeling about all these series like coming to a close, whether it be their manga or their anime?
I feel perfectly fine. I think that the future of shonen is bright. And the reason I feel this is because it's not just because of these two youngsters behind me, but it's also because what shonen has always thrived on is on consistently putting new artists in attempts into creating the next big thing, giving them a shot, right? That's the one thing that has made Shonen Jump so special. Constantly, artists and creators have an opportunity to shoot your shot, if you will, right? And put their story, their vision out there. And they get a good run to see if it's successful. And even if it doesn't succeed, it can be picked up later if it picks up stream over time. And I think now with the advent and how the Shonen Jump and the Viz app have blown up in the last 5 years, even more so because the catalog of all these animes, of all these mangas that are coming out weekly, every 2 weeks you get a new manga out there, and the ability of us going back to old ones as well at our fingertips, I'm not worried about shonen at all. Because one of the things that's also happening, it's not just the fact that these big titles are coming to an end, right? Because we have been reading My Hero for 10 years now, right? Like, we've been reading this for a long time. But how many titles we've never read, we're starting to read now? How many titles that have been around for years and have been beloved are now getting anime adaptations? And also, something that's very interesting is a lot of the people that have grown up with Shonen Jump, their tastes have evolved to a different variety of genres that what Shonen has to offer. And Shonen actually provides a plethora of different types of books now. It's not just the Shonen Jump, like traditional, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu Yu Hakusho or Dragon Ball. It's not just that. It's expanded to a multitude of different tastes. And also now with the variety of the Viz app that gives you more mature content and things that are not driven with, amazing fantasy battles. Like, it's not all that. I love the fact that more now than before, the audience is starting to understand how much variety there is out there. So they're always reading something. And as someone that no longer has time to really sit down and enjoy an anime, like, all I do is read manga, and I'm consistently. I feel free that sometimes when I'm caught up with all the series that I'm reading weekly, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking to try something out. Like I read the first 20 chapters of Black Clover, which the anime actually fell flat for me, at least the first couple of episodes. But I read it and I'm enjoying Black Clover a little bit more now. I am in chapter 50 of Dandadan, which is now getting a anime. And I am so happy that I'm reading it because it's so good. Like Dandadan is one of the best shonen books that I've read in a long time because it has all the it's crazy because it has the great battles that you want of a battle shonen, right? But it also has the weird and awkward and crazy things that you would expect from like Chainsaw Man, but it's really a quirky love story, kind of like Kaguya-sama Love is War because they don't want to admit that they like each other. like, like it has all
So
those little elements. It has all those elements. It has all those elements, right? Like, and with Dandadan, even though you have all this mixture of occult against aliens and all that stuff, it never forgets that it's about the kids. It never forgets that it's about them figuring life out and figuring relationships out with all the crazy stuff that still happens. So I think shonen is fine. I think people are freaking out because they think, oh no, we're gonna run a stuff to read. No, there's so much out there that hasn't even been considered. The fact that Sakamoto Days just got announced for an anime gives me faith that I know that shonen is fine. like, I'm excited. I'm just excited because the future for me is so bright.
yeah, I want to use that as a jumping off point, though, right? And I'm gonna toss it over to you, Didge. I think the reason that this entire reaction is happening, though, right, is because your top five stories are all reaching some sort of end game, whether
Yep.
that be in the near future with My Hero or the somewhat far off future of One Piece. Every manga in the top five of most read books in this magazine are about to come to an end. And I think it's an interesting conversation because we always talk about, well, the difference between manga and Western comics is that they can have an ending, right? But Naruto hasn't technically ended since that book's launched, right? Like
That's fair.
Even though Boruto isn't Naruto, like if you want to go back to Konoha, you've had stories for 20 years. Like One Piece is still going. Like Dragon Ball, a variation of that story is still going, you know?
Yep.
Even
And Daima's
Bleach,
coming out. Yep.
right? Even Bleach has Thousand Year Blood War on TV, right? So like the staples are the big three, they're still firmly like rooted in this book. So now that everything else around them are starting to like actually reach an end game, with Boruto probably being the only one that's around, I do think that kind of justifies that sense of, yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird that all the stories are ending at the same time because there hasn't been that much precedent because the pillars have always still been there. Even if people
Truth.
want to clown Boruto like they did for years, it was still there, you know? It was still a top five book the entire time. So I want your thoughts, Didge, of like, do you think Brandon is right in that they'll just find new books to take those roles? And if so, what books do you think could probably rise to the top from there?
I do
It's
think
a
that
long
they
question. I'm sorry.
no, it's fair. I do think that they'll be fine. This is I feel like this has definitely happened before. Obviously, it's happened before in other mediums. Like I immediately when we started talking about this conversation, I thought back to sports where it felt like this is like if we're looking at this like sort of sports, LeBron is the last of that era that we know for NBA. And it's crazy to think that like for a while I've had conversations with my friends in sports wise like damn, that's going to be different. But new players came up and new people who you really want to root for came up. I feel like it's the same thing that's happening here where I don't know where Kaiju is sort of in their story, but that's something that a lot of people have latched around. Like Kagurabachi, that's something that people have latched around
Bro, that bitch good, bro.
So like I think it's very natural to be like all of these pillars are ending or retiring or going off air, whatever you want to say. Everything does end, and you do feel like this feels weird. But I think the nature of especially something like comic books or anime manga, there are so many. You know, we always talk about the everlasting backlog. That's something every single one of us have talked about at length. Maybe it's a time that you start going through that. Like the situations like these are perfect for, okay, let me see what I have missed. And then something's going to pop up. Like I said, going back to Kaiju number 8, going back to Kagurabachi, those are probably the two major ones that I've heard the most about recently, that I know that I won't necessarily say new, but they're new-ish. So I don't know what the third or fourth tier of that is going to be, but based off of what
you have Spy Family, you know,
Spy Family, yes.
Too.
Yeah, Spy Family is still around. I'm trying to just go off of what I know people are reading weekly. Those are probably the major three that I hear. But like Brendan said, Shonen Jump is putting out new series every week. I feel like every time I log on there, it's like, hey, we got this new thing. You want to try it? And something of that nature is going to stick. Like I'm really liking Shoujo No right now. So like that's something that is new that I decided to keep up with. So it's like,
Shoujo No, bro. I haven't read the last chapter, but yes.
I haven't read the most recent one either, but that's something that I've been really enjoying. And as more people get off of the ones that they've been reading for so long, you know, they're like, okay, well now I got a time to bring up something new. That's how more people are going to start talking about it. And that's what we're going to get into the same thing. And you could very well end up with this same conversation 10, 15 years down the road, where it's like, well, the pillars are ending again. And it's the stuff that we were like, well, would it be as big as we thought it would be? And we're just going through this cycle again and again, because new stories are going to happen every day. I think I answered both of your questions.
You did. Well done, juggling the word vomit I spewed at you earlier.
Talented man.
But yeah, that's fair. You know, Dij and I have done this long enough to where he can decipher whatever I'm trying to shoot his way.
I try, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, that's totally fair. Isaac, I'm gonna toss it your way because I want your thoughts on all this. You can jump in wherever, but again, like the idea that we have new titles coming, and of course, if people haven't read One Piece, there's plenty for them to catch up on if their favorite book.
You're reading for the next like 8 years. If you're just starting One Piece, you're good.
Nah.
Or if you're like Brandon, you knock it out in 3 weeks.
Oh well, yeah. If you want to go crazy, I guess.
Oh, it was worth it. And it's so good, and it's so good right now. Like it is so good right now. Like the last chapter went.
Oh yeah.
And the person that claims the One Piece, like they're putting it out there again.
No. Stop before you start spoiling. But
what am I spoiling?
All I'm saying is,
they've said it before. They just brought it over again with the bang.
Yeah, but I know you that you might just go on over the finish line if when you're too excited of talking about something. We all know that, so you just have to stop you for a second. Even though I do agree with you,
Isaac,
the last chapter was fantastic. But to answer your question,
to recenter you, I didn't get my question out to you just yet.
Okay, tell me that.
Can I ask
question, sir? Yes.
Cool. You're good. No worries. I was gonna just rephrase it a little bit for you because I've managed to pull up the list. It's coming from Manga Plus because Viz doesn't show it. They don't share their info. So this is from Manga Plus. According to them, these are the top 10 most read books. Number 1 is Boruto. Number 2 is Chainsaw Man. Number 3 is JJK. Number 4 is One Piece. Number 5 is My Hero. 6 is Kaiju number 8. 7 is Oshinoko. 8 is Spy Family. 9 is Kagurabachi. 10 is Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi. Do you think these last 5 are strong enough to replace the top 5? Is basically my question. Because I'm putting names to these now instead of just saying random future manga.
That last one only has 5 chapters. That's interesting.
Here's the thing, though, with Manga Plus that you need to read. It comes and goes. I noticed that for a bit. For a bit, I can't recall what the manga that we covered that ended in about chapter 30 or something.
We're not taking them as gospel. I want to make that clear. We're not taking it as gospel. It's just a general, like, I assume this would be a rough estimate. And of course, this, the Kyoshi book did saying it only has 5 chapters. It also might be skyrocketing because a lot of people are checking it out because it is new and only has 5 chapters.
I mean,
so it might not even hold. But that's just at this time, a general idea.
But also, Oshinoko is in their end state also, I can add. But to point out something about what Brandon said, them being able to survive, they had sort of like these types of scenario before when Dragon Ball, and I do believe it was Slam Dunk, or was
when Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk ended,
it was a dark time for Shonen Jump also, but then Naruto, Bleach, One Piece came along, and well, the rest is history. And going through this list, I do feel like they might not be as
I'm gonna drop it in the chat if you guys want to take a look.
Okay.
I'm at Manga Plus right now, but if I had to guess on which I could see being the next big deal, it's probably, if we are talking top 5 in any no particular order: Kaiju, Spy, Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days, and restart. Kaiju, Spy Family, Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days, and I will actually go, and this is whenever the anime is coming out, Akanibashi, because this is a slice of life manga that I think will blow up once it gets an anime.
Oh, it's been blowing up in books already. Like a lot of people are talking about Akanibashi yet.
I think that one.
So, do you guys think that when these shows get more anime adaptations, it's going to give them the boost they need?
Yes.
Rise in popularity.
100%.
I mean, Spy X Family is getting bigger and bigger, and it became even more of a high. It's not on par with the Dragon Ball, One Piece, the Naruto level, but even since Code White has become even bigger. And I will say, if it keeps on going like this, I think it will become one of the biggest one once everyone else is ending in kind of deal. Kagurabachi, I feel, is sort of like I think it was Brandon that said it, or it was you. But based on what I know about Kagurabachi, it fills the void that Demon Slayer is missing right now in terms of manga form. Sakamoto and Spy Family, well, it's a fairly easy plot to go. And sort of like special agents, assassins, trying to all those. Yes, it's not something crazy shit. Chainsaw Man, I mean, sure, it's crazy shit, but I mean, batshit insane. So I don't mean shit as in a bad terms here.
Oh no, I never said that. I just agree with you. A lot of them are just. It's not just random crazy shit. I get it.
Yeah. But also, I forgot to mention wildcard. I do believe could be Ruri Dragon, honestly, but I digress. But there's we also need how to look what's popular right now in terms of the big media and all that. Yes, and judging from the whole thing, I do believe those are the biggest, have the biggest shots to get somewhere. Monsters is always going to be a big genre, and I mean, just look at the Godzilla versus X-Kong movie, and which went pretty well. Bond is always popular, going back to Spy and Sakamoto days, and John Wick to an extent. If Chainsaw Man is ending with the part 2, Dan will fill that void, but easily, even if it's less gruesome than what Chainsaw Man is. I am not gonna go in detail on what they have done recently, but you're if you read the manga, you know what I mean. You're up to speed, Brandon.
Yes, I am.
Then you get what I mean.
Yep.
Maybe we could see Centuria taking the spot of Vinland Saga once that one ends, but yeah, it's a lot to theorize, but as I said, Spy, Kugurabachi, Sakamoto, Kaiju, and Dan with Nakanabashi and Wildcard Ruri Dragon. Because I do feel that at least one slice of life manga will explode this time around.
So, what I think
Brandon,
is also
were you going to say
happening-
something? It felt like it.
Yes. Yeah. I think also what's
There it is.
happening, which because it's interesting, because one of the things that Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk had is that not only were they around for a long time, right? They had anime. And not only did they have anime that was in the West. Because I think all of us know that Slam Dunk existed in the US. Slam Dunk was a show and it was out there, right? And I think maybe part of the crisis that a lot of people are thinking is that because production costs on anime has skyrocketed to a ridiculous degree,
bingo,
studios are being way too careful on what animes are greenlighting. And because the ratio of manga production against ROI in terms of anime of those mangas is a lot lesser, you're not getting people going back to the books because there's not enough anime to cover everything that's coming out. So I think the void is created by the lack of anime that are good enough to bring people back to the books. Does that make sense? And long enough to bring them back to the books as well. And you've always mentioned it, Mike. Like we were talking about the other day, like the manga and anime go hand in hand in terms of production, but the production of brand new anime that become big hits or that come from manga that are already big hits, it's disproportionate, even more so than it was back in the day, because of very high production cost.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Demon Slayer. It had already ended when the Entertainment District arc was going on, and it was a fairly yeah, it's a pretty short one, but it was
what is it? 137 chapters, and that's it.
Something along the lines of that. But what I'm trying to say is this. But yeah, Brandon has a point because about the whole synergy with anime and manga, because Demon Slayer wasn't that big of a name, as far as I know, before the anime came out. It was fairly popular in Japan and all that, yes, but now due to the anime, it has skyrocket popularity.
So
even
I'm
even
gonna
it's a big thing
tap in right quick, Isaac, because this is the next talking point I was about to introduce. So I'm gonna set it up for you. You can have it right back.
Okay.
anime, like again, anime only exists to sell manga. That was its initial creation, and like the entire dynamic here is to sell the books, right? And I think that is going to become part of the issue because we have the top 5, right? Boruto, Chainsaw Man, JJK, One Piece, My Hero. Boruto and Chainsaw Man are the only 2 that don't have a currently running anime adaptation. We don't know what's going on with Chainsaw Man outside of that like random move they're gonna throw us, and we don't know if Boruto's ever gonna come back. And Boruto's anime,
it's not a random movie. It is the next arc.
I didn't know that was coming out,
but we don't know what's happening after that. Is my point.
Oh no, I get it, but I have a feeling that because how short the arcs are, I wouldn't be surprised if they do movies only, which I think would be a very interesting for Chainsaw Man. Which it's funny because Demon Slayer changed the landscape of anime production, because it's not just the fact that they blew everyone out of the water in terms of how popular it became because of the anime treatment. Demon Slayer is the most unique anime produced in the last 10 years. Combination of movies, combination of series, the fact that it's ended on a trilogy, the fact that they're dictating the way they tell story by controlling different size of episodes within the same seasons. I wonder if Chainsaw Man is taking a card from that, or they're just reeling from the fact that it wasn't popular in Japan, so they're just doing movies now. So I don't
Could be a mix of both.
Maybe.
But
we'll
also
see.
funny that you mentioned the thing on movies, because Jamie did an episode about the whole notion of Demon Slayer ending on a movie trilogy, and I will link that one in one of the suggestion cards at the end. Go on, Mike.
So I was going to say Boruto being number 1 on this list is impressive because manga readers are enjoying Boruto, but the Boruto anime has severely still nerfed its popularity because the Boruto anime is terrible. You know? And so I wonder if these other books, like Boruto has the power of Naruto just behind it in general, that helps. But like if these other books either never get an anime adaptation or right, Shadow Clone Jutsu, right? They never get the anime adaptation, or they get a bad anime adaptation, which, depending on how you view Chainsaw Man, that also could have hurt its popularity severely too, but manga readers still took to it. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen specifically is the one I want to kind of focus on, because that book is very hard to read, but that anime is very easy to get into. You know? Like, the way Akutami conveys fights and how that magic system works and the big blocks of text. It's hard to read, but so the anime makes it very, but the anime made it accessible, and I think that aided the book's popularity because you get in, it's a fun time, then it becomes really dark, but then you become obsessed with where's it's gonna go. You know, whereas My Hero, same thing. My Hero comes in. My Hero is an easy book to read, but it came in during the superhero boom of the 2010s. And it's like, oh, cool, superhero shit. I love the Avengers. Easy. I want to know what's going to be the grab. And you were kind of alluding to that earlier, Isaac, of like, what is it going to take for these to kind of pop? Because we have Spy Family and we have Kaiju, and they both had really great like first seasons. But what's going to make them become generational, I guess is my point. I don't think this is going to lead to the end of Shonen Jump, but I want to know what creates the next Dragon Ball, the next Naruto, the next One Piece, the next Bleach. You know, like what's going to be the next title that becomes... That. I said it, man. Be happy that I said it.
The next Bleach?
I
mean, Bleach is great.
It's all about trying to you're pretty much on point with My Hero Academia. It's time, no matter what the quality, what you think of the quality of My Hero, you don't like it, you love it, yada yada yada. It came on perfect timing, superhero boom. Now it's just a question of what is popular, what is not popular, and all that jazz. Something that could came out, let's say 3-4 years ago, might explode once the anime comes out, because a certain boom comes out then. Demon Slayer is a prime example of that, considering the difference between the popularity of the book then and the book after the anime dropped. Kind of deal, especially since it had ended so early.
That's why I'm rephrasing
It's
my question, because I want to know what you guys think. It's good again, the generational book. Because while My Hero had timing on its side, right, and JJK had a great anime adaptation on its side, pirates have never been the most popular thing in the world. But One Piece still made that big boom, because One Piece is just that dude. Oda is
Yes.
just that guy.
And
So
look,
my point is, what's going to be the generational book that breaks the mold? Go, Brandon.
If
go Ditch, go. You got.
I was gonna say, if we're talking something that lasts that long,
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anything does. And manga aren't lasting as long as they used to. Like, we're not. I don't think we're gonna ever see a Dragon Ball that started so far back and is still going in some entity. Naruto that started in the 90s and is still going in some entity. Like Naruto, I grew up with it, and then my nephew grew up with it. I don't think that that's going to ever happen again. I think, you're going to have those ones that have that big popularity. But if we're talking in the terms of something lasting 15, 20 years or to the end of time, like One Piece, I just don't ever see it happening again. I think that not only are the attention spans of the audience, I don't know if they're ready to dive into something like that again, but I also don't think that the artists want to be tied to one property for the entirety of their career anymore. Like I think it was you, Isaac, who was telling me about was it the JJK author who wanted to do like an idol manga after this? Like,
yep.
That's like, I feel like the new crop of artists, they kind of want to not be known for one thing, but sort of known for, like, I am an artist who can do a multitude of things.
That's interesting. So I think what's safe to say, based on what you're saying, right? And I don't disagree, because Oda is Oda, and I think we need to grab One Piece and put it aside.
Of course,
Because-
always.
No, but more important, but dude, it's crazy. I have a fella at work that started watching the anime, and now he's almost at Wano. I just found out that my niece, like my girlfriend's sister's daughter, that's 14, is in episode 656 of One Piece. Like, the fact that it's still new to all these kids, it's crazy. But One Piece is an anomaly. You know what I mean? So we can't count that. That is Oda struck gold, and he's still giving us gold, even though everybody's just still looking for it because nobody's found the One Piece. But it's like it's there. We're in for the adventure.
It's the friends we made along the way, buddy.
It is.
Shut up. But yeah, so it's an anomaly. But I get what you're saying, Ditch, and you're not wrong. And I actually appreciate that from manga. Like, I think we're going to get great books every 4 to 5 years. And what I like about the fact of what Shonen has been doing, especially now Viz, that is doing the whole Viz one-shots, which that's actually something that started this year. Like I think I showed you, I send you a link, Mike, for one called Giggle Fist. It's all about these little stories, artists trying something out because they wanted to tell a very particular story. But I think it's like you're saying, I think us looking for that generational book, it's maybe us looking at the wrong thing. But I do believe that there's great books right now that are going to stand out, especially with the animated adaptations that are coming out.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Kaiju number 8 is maybe that book. It's a great show, and the book is amazing. Like, I'm caught up with the book, and it's great. But Sakamoto Days is going to be. because Sakamoto Days is tapping not just to a grown-up shonen audience, it's riding the John Wick and Spy Family route. It's riding a sense of action that has been beloved for the last 10 years, and it's giving us the anime version of that. And the story is good. And I think the reason why we are actually benefiting from shorter stories, and when I say shorter stories, I'm talking about books that won't last more than 300 chapters, for example. Because, for example, right now, Kaiju is in its final straits, and it's in chapter 110. Sakamoto Days is reeling into the final saga, I would say, and is in chapter 175. Kagurabashi is cooking in chapter 40, and it's it's amazing. But what we're seeing is probably the end of season 1. But when it comes out, it's gonna blow everybody's heads off. Like Kagurabashi is like it's samurai's fantasy in modern day with a hint of Yakuza. Like it's just so good, right? And then you have Dan that's doing all the classic tropes in the best way possible. So we're getting a little bit of everything for everyone. So I think, and even Dan right now, I'm only in chapter 52, and right now currently the newest chapter is like 160. So I think us accepting that we're not getting to Generation 1 and riding the wave, because here's the thing, like they just said, Shoujo no, it's not phenomenal, but it's great. The fights are cool, and it's also very unique because it's a very unique robot story, android sci-fi story that we don't see a lot out there. You know what I mean? So I think like if Sakamoto Days it's getting an anime, it's going to be phenomenal. I think the next anime we're going to see announced is going to be Kagurabashi because of its popularity and because they're firing on all cylinders.
I don't think it will be announced yet. I think it will get an anime. I don't think it will happen yet.
I think it'll be the next big one that they'll announce. That's what
it's on chapter 42. So I'm not saying that you're wrong that they will get one. I actually agree with you there that the next big one that I feel is going to get announced for an anime, that's probably Akinabashi. It has over 100 chapters, and that's usually the starting points for an anime. 42 is too early.
You say that.
Dan had over 100 chapters also. And Spy had over 100
Spy Family
also.
just crossed 102 though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
So, and here's
Spy was unorthodox.
And here's why I say what I said, Isaac, because what you're saying, there's truth there. There's truth there. But at the same time, one of the most hyped animes of the last, also that I think has been going on for a while now. Let me see how old this is. I can't see how old. But The Elusive is also getting an anime. And that one's supposed to be
Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, it's getting an anime too.
It has already aired, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it just came out. But that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is,
I need to check that.
I'm saying of the more popular ones, of the ones that are on the list that Mike read off. I think Kagurabashi is going to be one of the next one because it's offering something that the others are not. Because when you think about it, Sakamoto is feeling out a very particular niche audience, which I think is probably why it took so long to get approved and greenlit, because it's its own thing, right? But Kagurabashi is filling the Demon Slayer and Bleach gap, right? It's filling out that space, right? You have One Piece that's still going to be running for the next 5-6 years, easy, and it doesn't need the book because they're doing the live action anyway. And if they're going to do the remake, right? So that's not going to be a problem. It's going to go for another fucking 50 years. But to Mike's point, but also slightly against it, Bleach.
I'm not making points. I'm just giving y'all topics.
I know. Let me cook them. No, but for example, Bleach is also an anomaly
Yes, chef.
because the 1,000-Year Blood War is not new Bleach. It's the books that were never made into anime. So there's so many other stories that they can go back to older books and bring back. If, like, for example, the other day on Twitter, I think it was AJ that was talking about it. The fact that apparently people are fighting to do a Vagabond anime.
Oh,
like that
will
book's,
be hard to adapt.
but the fact that talks are being had, if there are talks that are being had, that is a groundbreaking book. I haven't read it. Not only that,
it's groundbreaking. I haven't read it though.
I have the first volume. I just haven't had a chance.
I feel you. I get it.
And you know what's funny? And you want to know, Didge, why I haven't read it? Because I know that as soon as I open those pages, I'm going to be, babe, don't be mad. But I bought 5 more volumes. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to happen, right? So like, there's a lot of old stuff that the people that grew up with the old stuff are going to bring back. Berserk is getting another anime. What are we talking about?
That's a fan made though,
but it's getting it. One. And you think the Berserk fans are not going to watch it? You know what I mean?
Will.
We are going. I will.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that when we limit ourselves to the new stuff that are coming out, we're seeing too small, because there's so much stuff out there, bro. And a lot of people that grew up with books that were never giving an anime are probably going to come on and say, yo, guys, you know that Sandland book that Akira made? We're bringing it back. like you know what I mean?
Well, that got an anime, to be fair.
But it got a remake for new generations. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, something that nobody thought it was going to come out. It came out anyway.
It's funny that you mention older books, considering Ranma 1.5.
It's getting another. Who the hell thought that Ranma and Rurouni Kenshin were going to get new animes?
Now, I'm shocked Rurouni Kenshin did, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm really shocked that it did.
Yes. Before something else random getting something new. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro.
I get you.
I'm excited.
No,
I don't know why I'm fighting. I think I haven't recorded in such a long time. I feel like
he's got the juices flowing. I'm gonna reach and pull One Piece back over, because we set it to the side. I'm bringing it back for this one question I want to pose the panel. Do you think One Piece, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but do you think One Piece has kind of changed how they approach books? Because the only knock anybody ever has on One Piece is it's too long. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to read a 1,000-chapter story. So now, all of a sudden, we're seeing a bunch of books be 100 chapters or less. Quick reads, easier to digest. Do you think One Piece may have slightly had a negative impact on how Shonen approaches that, even though it's great? I want your thoughts on that, especially from the Straw Hats.
As I'm not a Straw Hat, I'll jump in and say yes. I do think that I won't say that Shonen Jump as a company or like the publication, I don't think that they are telling their people like, hey, you don't need to be doing this that long, because if it's printing money, they're gonna be okay. I don't think that they care.
Oh, for sure.
I do think that some of the artists and some of just the creators are probably like, well, I want to maximize the amount of eyes that I can get on this. Maybe I don't need an 1,100 chapter story. Maybe my story can be a little bit more condensed, and I can still get the story I have, because I can just pull a Naruto route. I can go, Naruto Shippuden, then Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. That's probably close to how many chapters One Piece is, but because it's 4 different stories. Actually, Shippuden didn't have the Shippuden, that didn't get the split in the manga, but beside the point. But
all of Naruto is like 700 chapters.
Yeah. And then I think Boruto might have hit, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's in the hundreds. And then obviously Two Blue Vortex isn't that long, but all of those combined, you're looking at close to 900 chapters. But nobody says anything because it was 3 different stories essentially. One Piece is just One Piece the entire time.
Brandon, you can go first.
Brandon,
Isaac.
unmute now. Come on.
Go, Isaac. Go.
Oh God, I'm
Isaac.
gonna buckle up if he's telling everybody else to go.
I mean, I don't really think that's the case, because if an author wants to write the story and feels like, yeah, I have more to write, he will do the writing. One Piece is an anomaly because he is writing a story about pirates exploring the oceans. You can extend that if he so wanted. He could probably extend that series for another 20 years, because exploring the world and just covering land after land, the idea, the potentiality for more issues endless depending on how you plan it. I mean, it's sort of the same with Dragon Ball to an extent. Now we don't know if it's going to continue because of the licensing rights scenario that's happening right now. But in a potential scenario with Dragon Ball, it has expanded to multi-universes with Super. So it could just do... Naga knows how many stories they want to cover in the near future. It could, if Akira Kurama was alive, it could have continued without a real issue, since it's universal. It's out of space, and sort of like that. It could, but stories like JJK, Naruto, or should I say, Universe, Attack on Titan, some stories, they are written in a fashion that you can't just expand. Stuff like, for example, Spike's family, if I'm being completely honest, he could... Endo could, for example, go with a prime example of the mission of the week, and go with that, and probably taking the approach for, I'm not saying as long as One Piece are, but he could expand it fairly long for what, because of the structure of the plot. It's all about that, because if the story is good and if it's structured well, there will be eyes that gets into it. We have seen it from One Piece now with a live action, as a prime example. People are going into that. Oh, I want to know more. I read or see the original. Going to the anime or reading the manga, kind of deal. Maybe they would have less the eyes now, because without the live action, I'm not. That's for sure. But it's all about the story as a whole, not the length. If I'm being completely honest, because it's how should I put it? If I told you about One Piece and what it is, and then you can easily imagine, okay, this works with that amount of chapters, whereas if I told you that Attack on Titan had double the amount of chapters, it would feel a bit, because it's more of a condensed story, it would feel, why is this so long in comparison?
It's I all about agree setting. And disagree, because, yeah, I get you, but it's also like you referenced that Naruto couldn't be told in a similar way when Naruto's entire universe is a similar amount of chapters, and that's all still very character driven. Like My Hero Academia could have gone for another 400 chapters if they really wanted it to, because that's just, now you're just doing Superman comics essentially with My Hero, right? So I feel
Fair
like
point.
These top 4 out of the top 5 probably could have, if the author wrote it that way. Like if the author wanted to do it, is the point, right? Because if Gege wasn't obsessed with just torturing Yuji, he probably could have stretched that book out a lot longer.
Yeah.
but you know, he made that decision. So it's like, I don't think it's that these other stories aren't built to run as long as One Piece. It goes back to my question of, did One Piece change the culture to where the authors don't risk necessarily, like Dij was saying earlier, want to be tied to one IP for 30 years, you know?
It's all also in my book, and I'm gonna end my point on this is, and I say that as a creator that is trying to build, and I'm not talking about focusing on this channel. I'm talking about trying to write books on my book on my own and extend and fix this, fill in that. It's all about how you want. It's all about, do you feel like you want to tell more? Do you have more? Also, like that, they might have a plan A from plan B, in that, no, I want to stop there. Kind of like that, and I don't want to have the filler just for the sake of getting more money, because an artistic vision could some part sort of feel like, okay, I know that I want to do something more afterwards and not just be, as we said, known for that. But then there is also people that feel like, I don't see how I want to end it, because I love these characters, love this world, yada yada yada. Let's keep on going on. Kind of the because going back to One Piece, for example, Oda has said that he enjoys this world so much that he wants to go back and do side stories about Dragon and Garp once this main arc is complete. For example, it's all about the passion from the creator also, I feel. And I speak that as an aspiring author myself that hopefully gets a book published soon enough. Brandon? Okay, he is...
So this is why we love One Piece, okay?
Good
Because
Lord.
we have
Sold, I'm in.
amazing cover art. By the way, this is this last Sunday's cover
Dear
art.
Netflix, get
he does-
Emily Rudd to make this the poster for season 2. Sold. Print money.
So, so
I mean, you're not wrong.
not wrong at all. You know, it's. I think story-wise, right? Everything that Isaac said has a point. Everything Dish said has a point, right? But at the same time, right? If you write something that's so iconic, that becomes iconic in one certain way or form, a lot of times, even when you try to do something else, everything else you do, if it's not as iconic as that original thing you wrote, it falls flat. After
Look at
Naruto,
Kishimoto and his... Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm about to say. Kishimoto has 2 failed books right after Naruto. They did not kick off. They did not go anywhere. And interestingly enough, begrudgingly, he came back to Boruto, not just to fix it, but I have a feeling it's because everything else he was doing, it wasn't kicking off. In regards to Oda just keeps cooking. Nami's still mommy, but it's damn it, Mike. Well done. I did it to myself. I know. Oda found a way to do something that nobody else has done in years, is that he finds ways to tell the different stories within the same world just by changing islands. You know what I mean? You get a horror story, you get a story about slavery, you get a story about revolutionaries, you get a story against the world government that's corrupt, like all those things. And the One Piece book does not have filler. Everything is story. and everything moves the plot forward. It moves someone's story forward, which is why anybody that starts reading it and actually gives it a chance keeps reading it because it's good. I think it's not about the length, it's about the content. If the content is good and solid, the reader is going to keep going with it as long as it lasts. And I think the worry, which is where the original questions came from, right? The reason why we're having this pod is there enough good content around for us to keep going back to the book, going back to the magazine, right? And I think the answer is yes, especially now. You know what I mean? I think I don't want to say that One Piece taught something. I think if anything, One Piece, what it has done, it has created a platform for so many creators to be able to have their shot. Because if it wasn't for One Piece carrying Shonen Jump, how many mangas could we not have a chance to read that would be printed aside One Piece to be able to be read and discovered?
Yeah. Which brings us back to my original question, though, right? One Piece had to carry this book for 30 years. And now it's about to go away, right?
But at the same time,
did it create a culture healthy enough to exist, you know?
I believe it did because of the digitization of the magazine. Because it's no longer just that monthly book with a limited supply of random chapters and stories. Now, the entire library is there, is in your phone, is in your tablet. So the wealth of stories is there and is ever increasing. If it was still the magazine, I could see One Piece going away and the magazine no longer thriving. But because everything is here now, I don't see that happening. Apart from the fact that One Piece now has its own national holiday. I think Shonen Jump is looking for ways to, hey guys, it's gonna end, but One Piece national, yeah.
Happy One Piece Day to all those that celebrate.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's One Piece Day. It is One Piece Day.
That's great. So what I'm getting from this, Brandon, and you'll respect this analogy, is that One Piece is All Might, right? It's been carrying manga society on its back, yes, but now it's everybody else's turn, right? And it created a new hero society.
Literally, Luffy. And you know, okay, I'm gonna say something, and I don't care. Isaac, don't shut me up. I'm gonna say it.
Oh boy.
So everybody here and in the internet, whether you watch One Piece or not, I know you've seen it. We know that this year in the anime, Gear 5 was animated. It came out late last year. Gear 5 Luffy, right? It was a big deal. Nika form, Gear 5. The awakened form of the Gum Gum fruit, which is not really the Gum Gum fruit. It's the mythical Soen type Nika. Yeah. But in the book,
those were words that I have no idea what you said, but
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But in the book, something just happened that is remarkable, which I think is a great analogy to what you're saying. Luffy was known as the symbol of the sun god Nika. He doesn't know who Joy Boy is. He doesn't know who Nika is. But there's this whole race of people called the Buccaneers that even though they were taken into slavery, they always dreamt that the warrior of liberation would set them free. And that was the sun god Nika, whom his Gear 5 form embodies. And it's all about inspiring others to be free, to be their most freest of selves. There's this one little girl, her name is Bonnie. Her ability allows her to become the form that she dreams her future to be. That's her devil fruit. If she sees her future of her being this beautiful woman, she can become a beautiful woman. If she sees her future is looking like an old lady, like to change her shape, is to become this old lady. In the battle against the Gorosei, Luffy tells her, you can be free. You can do this too. She becomes like him in Gear 5 form. That is what Luffy is doing. He's telling everybody you can be Gear 5. You can embrace your Gum Gum form and be the best anime out there. That is what's happening. He's moving away, and everybody else can carry on the fire of everything that he's done for 30 years. Everybody's turn. Okay, I'm done.
That was inspirational as hell.
But that's what's happening.
Closing thoughts, guys.
I got nothing.
That's what Luffy's doing, bro. I'm gonna share the picture because it's just so beautiful. It's so great. Let me look
do
at
that. Do that off recording.
Why? People are gonna like it
Because
nobody knows.
no
It's not gonna
risk.
spoil. It's not spoiling. It's not spoiling anything.
It's
showing something
it's
awesome.
more about it's more about lessening the risk of copywriting. That's why.
Oh yeah, Viz hates us showing manga panels. So he has a point there. Sorry.
Okay, I'll show it at the end. I promise.
Isaac, any closing thoughts?
One Piece rules, shonen manga rules overall. I don't think it's doomed. It just will have a changed, how should I say, rules once every of the big ones ending. It's a generational leap, and it changes every generation.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be interesting. Much like in the world of film, right? Where this is a weird year for movies because the superhero movies are gone for the most part. I know Deadpool is out by the time you guys are watching this, but it's like you see Inside Out become the second biggest animated movie of all time. You see Twisters doing well. You see Planet of the Apes do well, right? Like you see other genres kind of step up and rise to the occasion because audiences just want entertainment. They don't necessarily care what it is as long as it's good. And I think that's been
content.
the entire takeaway from this conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's about the content. It's about creating characters that people fall in love with, whether that be Oshinoko, Spy Family, Kaiju Number 8, One Piece, Boruto. It's just creating worlds for people to get lost in. And if they're there for 100 chapters or they're there for 1,000, they're just there to have fun. And that's what I hope that Shonen takes away from this, and all the dang anime studios that are not animating some of these incredible books. Undead Unluck got an anime. It was okay. It was pretty good. But looking at the rest of the top 25 in this list here, not a lot of them got a chance to get a show yet. So hopefully that changes going forward.
PPP would have loved to get an anime. It's that piano music manga. It would have been an excellent anime, but it never got one.
I'm not gonna lie, Isaac. I thought you were making Mega Man sound effects for half that title.
No,
I thought he said P 4 times, so I was like, all right, I guess.
He did that. He did do that. He did do that. So I'm
it's
gonna
the
take
title of that book.
So
I'm serious. Look it up.
So I'm going to
Noted.
take advantage. I'm going to take advantage that we're talking books, and I think it's fair. Didge, if I miss anything that's interesting, please let me know. These are the books that you should be reading in Shonen Jump right now, or at least books that you should be checking out. We've talked about Kagurabashi. I don't know if you guys noticed, but go to your Viz app, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the Dan Da Dan anime is coming out. In the past, mature books, you could only read them online on your desktop or tablet or on your browser. You cannot read them on the app. They have made Dan Da Dan available on the app. You don't have to go online to read it anymore. You can read it on your app. It doesn't say web only anymore. So you should be reading Dan Da Dan. You should be reading One Piece, but I get if you're hesitant. My Hero, there's no better time to jump in. Season 7 is going to end soon, and the book is coming to an end. It's great. Sakamoto Days. Kagurabashi, you should be reading that. Akanebashi is in chapter 119. It will get an anime soon. You should definitely check that out. Mission Yosakura Family has been very, very popular that people have enjoyed. Astro Royale, apparently, a lot of people are having very good conversations about that show. Elusive Samurai just got an anime. You should definitely check that out. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. It's weird, but it's good. It's a monthly title. You have plenty of time to get caught up and to read it. Shoujo Newell. Ditch and I have mentioned that a couple of times. If you like sci-fi, if you like androids, if you like a good battle shonen, Shoujo Newell gives a nice twist to that genre because it's like a very mature shonen because of the topics. And if you like Tokyo Ghoul, a lot of people be sleeping on Shoujo X. Shoujo X is Shui Ichida's current book. I think it's way better than Tokyo Ghoul. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I think that he's learned a lot of lessons from his mistakes in Tokyo Ghoul in terms of how he handled Kaneki and other characters. I think Shoujo X is great, even though...
Isn't that rumored to get an anime right now? Or is...
I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But also, we talked about animes that have lasted forever. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Stone Ocean is still being translated into English and published on Shonen Jump. Stone Ocean is only story 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which right now I think it's about to reveal story 9, part 9, which is crazy. That guy's crazy. But JoJo's great.
Yeah, the manga kind of. And I will...
Wild Strawberry is another one. I know Dog's Red is close to my boy Dish's heart. It's also great. We talked about it before. There's plenty to read, guys. Shonen Jump is alive and well. Go read.
Centauri, I can suggest.
But that's only on Manga Plus, though. It's not on Shonen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's only Manga Plus. I mean, it's there. Just like Don't Let the Exorcist Fall in Love is only on Make the Exorcist Fall in Love is only on Manga Plus.
Is it? That's sad. Mm-hmm. I mean, those two deserve some more love.
Yep. So many great
suggestions.
Yeah, that was a lot of great suggestions.
I tell you guys, I can't watch anime, but all I do is read. Yeah.
We noticed that.
Yeah. So great.
He said, this has been a blast. I love getting together and just talking manga in general. Like, we somehow didn't spoil all of these incredible titles too much as we were talking through it. Yeah. Go read it. Brandon gave you a great list. Read those top 5 that are ending too. Like, they're fantastic. And guess what? You can binge through them. You can binge through JJK. It'll be emotional, but you can binge through JJK by the time it ends.
You want to ruin your week? There. Sure.
You want to ruin your week?
Hey, and if you want to pick yourself up, read My Hero. You get through that same page, and then that'll eventually ruin your week as well. But
and if you want to if you want to go back to being in love and not knowing what to do with your life while you're running from aliens and suddenly being possessed by a demon, read Dandadan. It's all the fun.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We're covering manga and anime here every freaking week, whether that is the end of My Hero Academia, or what the hell's going on in Jujutsu Kaisen, or what's going on in Chainsaw Man, because that book is ridiculous and weird and disturbing, and it leaves us shook, and I don't even read it, and it disturbs me every time it comes out.
And
we got all that here and much more.
I certainly don't want to eat sushi right now. That's for certain.
Oh,
buddy,
screw you, Isaac.
I'm okay with the sushi. I'm still reeling back from the alleyway. I don't know what to do with all that.
If you want to know what's going on in Chainsaw Man, we got a video for you right here on the channel. Didge, thanks for coming back. Where can the folks find you, your work? What's the haps? Hit us up.
You can find me at DigD everywhere. You see my name in the corner over there. You can also find me on my other podcast at the Geek Set Podcast. See what's coming up. We're still working on our documentary. We have the Kickstarter out there. To sort of finish out
below.
the Final Hero interviews. I do appreciate that. Definitely take a look. If you look on our social media, you'll see everything about the documentary and what we're trying to do, and some of the names that are involved. So hopefully you are inspired by the work that we're doing.
It's awesome.
Heck yes. Monkey D. Braffy, where can they find you when you're not stuck in the multiverse?
You can find me from time to time showing my head out of a barrel on Twitter at Monkey D. Braffy, randomly commenting on something happening that's funny and amazing. Gum, peace.
Mad Doctor.
Well, you can find me here at the Amateur Otaku. You can find me at Blamaniac on X, which is just too extremely weird to. Sorry.
No, sorry.
But it's and you also find me writing at the Wolf Rights, and I have another project that first part should be up by hopefully end of August, early September. So that should be a lot of fun. And we also have some other fun stuff coming up here on the pod. And here, see you all next time, I suppose, after Mike is telling you what he is doing.
Yeah, you can find me at Novice Cinephile on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok. TikTok, I'm uploading an 8-minute video about this guy because it's topical and relevant.
Our boy.
You can also find me here. Our king, Great Explosion, Murder God Dynamite. But you can also find me here talking anime on the podcast occasionally. Also at collider.com, where I'm writing reviews, interviews, all that fun stuff. I'm reviewing Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman Cape Crusader for Collider, so check those out. And I'm interviewing the cast of TMNT. You'll see clips of that on Collider and my TikTok as well,
Sweet.
so stay tuned for that. We'll be back talking more manga very soon. We got to do a Boruto video. You're going to see a bunch of My Hero stuff drop here soon. We're going to revisit JJK, because since that's wrapping up, we've got to go.
We're revisiting Pokemon also. Pokemon Horizon.
And Pokemon.
Yeah. It should be out in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So, until next time, go beyond, plus ultra, and Nami's still mommy. Peace out, guys.